Welcome to the podcast today. I have my good friend Sattvik. He is the head of engineering at Rome. For people that are completely unfamiliar with Rome, what are you all building and what are you hoping to bring to market?
Thanks, Jax. Our mission is to help the ecosystem scale and compose with Solana. So we're building interop functionality across different chains and sequencing capabilities. That's kind of a brief overview.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, Solana and why you all chose that ecosystem.
Yeah, we saw that there's a lot of centralization in the rollup ecosystem with single servers that were being used for the sequencing. And we saw that that could be solved by reusing Solana, which is an existing decentralized system that has been running in production for a number of years. And we saw it's a high throughput chain, high performance, low cost, and sufficiently decentralized to be able to offer a lot of capabilities to the ecosystem.
Absolutely. I think the phrase is, what is it, good chain, fast chain, or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I interviewed Nick Frosty back in the day from the Solana Foundation. He's one of the dev roles there, a good guy. And
Nice.
we hope to have more of them on. We had Mert on maybe a
Oh,
few
nice.
months ago. So
Yeah.
we like the Solana Foundation. So talk to us a little bit about like the solution you guys are bringing to market. Is it like, hey, people want interoperability because maybe there's a very good DApp on Solana, but people still want to interact with Polymarket? Like, what is the general use case or use cases?
Yeah. Some of the use cases are like atomic arbitrage. So if you have liquidity pools across different L2s or on Solana and an L2, you can do atomic trade where you buy an asset, say Sol, on one chain and then sell it on the other chain. And you can do that in a single atomic transaction, single Solana transaction, so that either both of those trades go through or none at all. And you can have atomic transfer of RWAs. That's another use case. So you can have the identity verification on one chain. You can have the payment for an asset on another chain. And you can have the actual transfer of that real world asset on yet another chain, where each chain is specialized for those specific use cases, identity payments and the real world asset transfer. And you can do that all atomically, so there is no risk of like maybe the payment fails or the identity verification fails or the real world asset transfer fails. Those are like some of the use cases. There's like you can have liquidity grab that's atomic across different chains, and really like anything that requires atomicity, you can do with Rome.
Yeah, so Solana, I believe their vision was like a single state machine. So are you guys then kind of taking advantage of the modular thesis where you're like, hey, you're gonna want Solana for the execution, you're gonna want this for decentralized or for data availability. Like, talk to us a little bit about like how this fits into not only the Solana ecosystem, but it seems like you also interact with EVM environments as well.
Yeah, we absolutely use Solana as a single state machine. So you can have Rome L2s. That's one of our products. You can spin up your own L2 using Rome. That's an EVM L2 that is hosted on Solana, that runs on Solana. So we have a smart contract we've built out that is deployed on Solana that provides an EVM execution environment. And we've built out OP-Geth integration, where you can spin up your L2 that's like OP stack based, and it's all that state is stored on Solana. So at the end of the day, you can, if your rollup goes down, you can just use Solana to reconstruct your rollup. Um, and since all of this state is on Solana, you can do those atomic transactions that I was talking about, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, all the rollups are the state is actually just stored on Solana.
Got it, got it. And so if we talk about some of the biggest, pain points that Rome addresses for developers and projects, is it, liquidity fragmentation? Is it centralization risk? Like, what are we really finding here?
Yeah, so those were you're absolutely right. Like those were two of the biggest like frictions in crypto is fragmented liquidity and lack of interoperability. So we basically like tackle those head on, and obviously like centralization risks are solved with having the rollups be hosted on Solana. So with that comes like, okay, you can remove the censorship. You get like censorship resistance. You get more reliability because Solana is like a it's a resilient chain, as opposed to just a single server. So yeah, those are it's kind of a summary.
Yeah, and let's talk about interoperability because, and I've done so many podcast episodes, and interoperability is one of these things that is surprisingly complex. How have you guys kind of square that? And for people that are unfamiliar, like there's different kinds of bridging solutions. There's people that have like taken technology from like Cosmos and tried to manipulate it such that it works on Ethereum. Like, what was your guys' approach to interoperability? Even like differences in tokens is a big thing.
Yeah. So for us, it's uh, it's like a much kind of stronger guarantee of interoperability as opposed to like a bridge, because with a bridge you have to sort of trust that the kind of asset transfer happened on one chain, and then the event is emitted, and then that's kind of listened to on the other side, and then there's a verification of the event happening on the other chain. But for us, it's done with a single Solana transaction. So you can use, we have a Rome SDK that developers can use to construct atomic transactions. So it happens at like a very like basic level. So that's kind of our simple approach to that.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting to see this like interoperability solutions. Also, one thing that had come up, I remember when I interviewed the team at Termina, is there's this term, a company called Termina, and there's this term called SVM. So for people that are completely unfamiliar with SVM network extensions, could you try to kind of clear up some of the potential confusion around those two terms?
Sure. So SVM is Solana Virtual Machine, as opposed to like EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. So the main difference between those is that SVM is parallelized, as opposed to EVM, which is single threaded. And so with the SVM, you can have multiple transactions running in parallel, as long as the accounts that are being impacted are not overlapping. Um, and EVM. So that's kind of the main difference. And then uh, uh, basically, yeah. So network extensions are like you. I mean, it's like you can have. So I actually like need to look it up a bit more like
No worries. We,
specifically.
we can
Yeah.
cut that. We can cut that part out. So the way I understand
Okay.
network extensions is, it's trying to use a lot of the tech that Solana has, not exactly as a roll up, so more intertwined. But yes, it's kind of a murky thing because I had to write a whole blog on it. This was like months ago, and I was like, this doesn't make complete sense. It seems like almost like a roll up, but maybe they just don't want to call it a roll up.
That's what
But
I wanted to say, but like, yeah, I also don't like understand like the specific terminology. So yeah, like Solana L2s are there, and they are kind of a network extension. There's also other sort of EVM you build out as a smart contract on Solana. That's also a sort of a network extension, but I'm not like yeah fully clear on the
And
exact.
what do you know kind of like the opinion of like Solana L2s, or kind of these things that are combining the SVM with like rollups from the foundation's perspective? Because yeah, it was always my understanding that Solana like kind of wanted to keep everything buttoned up and in the same environment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my yeah, like from what I can tell, yeah, like the idea is to just have like the Solana, like Solana does not need L2s. Obviously, not like speaking on behalf of the foundation, but that's
Sure.
what I've seen as the viewpoint. And then I think, I mean, people are building like Solana, like SVM L2s. And I mean, the benefit is obviously that SVM is like high performance, and then you can have that execution environment on the top of other chains. So you can have it on top of Ethereum, you can have it on top of Solana, and it provides a developer environment that is familiar, that people who are used to using the SVM, they can deploy on, and then use their applications.
Now you're obviously very involved in the engineering, and talk to us a little bit, because it's one thing building tech, which is hard in and of itself, but then it's a whole other ball game trying to get developers to adopt the the tech itself. So how have you guys been attracting developers into your community?
Yeah, so we host hackathons and conferences, uh, and events in different cities, and try to basically spread the word about Rome, and get developers to engage with our SDK, and our products, our L2s. As and we have our Discord, where all the developers, they come in, and they basically have those discussions, as well as our like Twitter, like X page, which is for the community, where we share the announcements. And Yeah, so we had a hackathon, for example, in Bangkok, just a few months ago, where people built like a lot of different cool applications, and it's like just it's like a bunch of like DeFi applications, for example, and spinning up different Rome L2s. And then we have basically it's kind of more or organic, like people like coming in, and just exploring our documentation. And we have tutorial videos that people can just follow to set up their own like Rome L2, or use our SDK to build applications. So we sort of like made it self-serve
Very,
for
very
people.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then, obviously this is a zero gravity podcast. So talk to us a little bit about like, how you guys are using zero gravity, or how you plan to partner with ZRG.
Yeah, so basically, Rome, so zero gravity and Rome, so Rome would become a roll-up provider, where like zero gravity is able to provide like AI powered L2s, that are powered by Rome, and those L2s, they become they're scalable and verifiable, um, uh, and their like cross-chain AI applications can be built uh, that use Solana's performance. Um, so yeah, that's
Very
it's kind
exciting.
of
Very
a
exciting.
summary. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then talk to us a little bit about some of the upcoming milestones and developments people can look forward to from Rome itself.
Yeah, so we'll be releasing our mainnet soon this year. That's the thing we're most excited about.
Nice. Well, mainnet is always a probably stressful period and an exciting period all at the same time. So, as you see kind of Rome evolving in the broader Web3 landscape, what's kind of your hope for Rome's adoption, or like where you see kind of these types of Solana applications going?
Yeah, so the hope is that Rome helps continue increasing the scalability and interoperability in the ecosystem by leveraging Solana, and providing Rome L2s, Rome SDK, and other products. And yeah, like continue to build partnerships such as Zero Gravity, that enable like applications and infrastructure that makes use of these new capabilities. So in this case, it's the AI applications that benefit from Solana's performance.
Very exciting, very exciting. And finally, for people looking to get involved, follow you more on social media or, follow the protocol itself, talk to them about where they can go to interact more.
Yeah, so follow Rome on X. We're Rome Protocol on X, and then join our Discord. You visit our website, rome.builders, and yeah, you can kind of follow along from there.
Absolutely. Well, everyone go get involved. And do you have a X yourself, or you're more on the
Yes, my X is just my name and then my last name. So
perfect?
feel free
We'll put
to
that in the
go there.
description. Awesome, awesome. Well, everyone go get involved with the project. Rome is building some really cool stuff, and obviously they're partnered with Zero Gravity, which we love. And until the next time, let's continue building the future of on-chain AI.